Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. And if this is your very first time visiting my YouTube channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you like what you see and I hope you come back and I hope you subscribe. Be sure and ring that little bell and it'll notify you every time I upload a new movie review or trailer reaction, which is almost every single day. There are so many great movies out now, and so I've got so much to talk about. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Infinite. This dramatic action drama skipped theaters completely and is currently streaming only on Paramount Pictures Plus. One of my YouTube channel subscribers asked me to review this, so I finally had time to watch it, and I'm so glad that I did. The movie is rated PG-13 and it's an hour and 46 minutes. I'll give you my movie review mom score at the end of my review. So first, let me give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I like, didn't like, tips for parents, themes worth talking about, and even give you some recommendations for other films that are somewhat similar that you might even like better than this one. So first of all, in a nutshell, did you ever have a dream so real that it felt like a memory? Well, that's the question that the audience is asked at the very beginning of this film. A man discovers that his hallucinations are actually visions from past lives. This mind-bending film was directed by Antoine Fuqua, and I really like a lot of his work in the past. Some people are criticizing, saying this movie is a miss, but I think I enjoyed it a lot more than most critics and film critics and even viewers. Mark Wahlberg's schizophrenic character says, quote, reincarnation is comforting, but it's a spiritual way of saying better luck next time, end quote. So what do you think about reincarnation? That's what this film is all about, but with a twist. The movie was brought to Hollywood through crowdsourcing. It's based on the book called The Reincarnationist Papers by D. Eric Makrantz. So Paramount Pictures bought the rights to the movie after finding the book in a hostel in Nepal. The author had written an invitation and a challenge to readers to get the story made into a movie with the promise of a financial reward. Now, I don't know what that reward was, but it worked. In only 18 months, the movie actually was made. So that's actually super impressive. So yay. So there were a lot of things I really liked about the movie. And in fact, my subscriber said that he absolutely loved this movie. Actually, I don't know if he's a he or a she based on the subscriber name. But anyway, that subscriber thought it was brilliant. So I don't know that I thought it was brilliant, but it sure had a great premise. I'll get to that in just a minute. But first of all, I'm such a fan of Mark Wahlberg, and I will pretty much watch anything that he's in. I love him that much. And as expected, he has the required physicality and snarky humor and endearing character to deliver an extremely entertaining performance. Academy Award and Golden Globe nominee Chiwetel Ejiofor is another actor I consider to be a chameleon. He's excellent in everything he does, and he won a BAFTA award for Best Actor in his role in 12 Years a Slave. I don't know if you ever saw that, but that was kind of when he was on the radar, for me at least. I hadn't even seen Sophie Cookson before in anything that I remembered, even though she's been in stuff. She is beautiful and also has the athleticism to be believable in the action sequences that she was in the movie. And speaking of action sequences, there are a ton of them. Kudos to the stunt team that did an incredible job. I was sad that Dylan O'Brien's role in the film was so short because I really like him. I absolutely loved him in the movie Love and Monsters. If you haven't seen that movie, definitely should. It's just so fun and in so many ways. Anyway, add that to your watch list. Liz Carr is another actress I'd never seen in anything before, and she creates such an intriguing character that simply belongs in this universe, in this movie, and the world building that it makes. There are some truly stunning visuals and tons of crazy car chases. The movie looks like it must have cost a ton of money to make. And I looked online, but I couldn't actually find out what the price tag was, but it looks expensive. There's all kinds of fun gadgets and weapons, including this retractable steering wheel. And one of the characters says, retractable steering wheel, of course. Very cool. The movie was filmed in Cardiff, Wales, and I've actually been there. About 5 years ago, I went. And if you want to learn more about Wales and that charming country, there's a very heartwarming movie I just reviewed called Dream Horse, where you really get a flavor for Whales, basically. So check that out. There are some fun Easter eggs in the movie, such as a sound effect that you have also heard in the Transformers movies, and an M82 that Mark Wahlberg's character used in the movie Shooter. Those are both movies that Mark Wahlberg has been in. I mentioned the world building, and it's very intriguing, although it's also a little bit bloated and doesn't really go into all of the details that I would like, because I had lots of questions that just were not answered. So just turn off your brain and enjoy the beautiful locations and the action sequences for a fun summer flick. Now, if you do enjoy this movie, I think you'll be happy to know that there's an opening that's created for a sequel. So, is that something that you want? Comment down below. I would love to hear what you thought of the movie, especially because so many people really did not like it. It wasn't my favorite. I don't know that I would say it was brilliant, but it sure was headed in the right direction. It just had a lot of misfires. So let me tell you about some of those misfires. First of all, there are so many mind numbing action sequences that pretty soon you're just like, okay, yeah, we get it. We get it. And then there's a very convoluted plot that might confuse viewers rather than enlighten them. Despite all of the action and the CGI, the movie somehow feels bloated and empty at the same time. It's just kind of odd. There are tons of cliches. Some of the CGI didn't work at all. And I think ultimately the movie acts and feels like it's just more smart and deep than it really is. And again, I really liked that premise. I think it was off to a really good start. And then it just kind of gets messy and wanders and sort of loses itself in the process. So that's unfortunate. Let me give you some tips for parents. First of all, I think kids will be bored generally. There's tons of destruction, various kinds of torture and violence with a very high body count and some blood, women in skimpy clothing, and just weird stuff that goes on that kids won't understand, and adults too. The themes that are worth talking about are life, reincarnation, and one thing I thought was interesting is kind of like vampires who live forever. There are some people that live forever, and there's this one guy, and he is tired of living forever. He wants it all to end, and the only way to accomplish that is by killing everyone. So I don't know if there's anything more selfish than that, but that's kind of the main evil guy character, and that's pretty doggone evil. So I liked the idea of reincarnation coming back and the value of life and learning to appreciate each of those lives, both represented by the bad guy and those who are trying to save the world and protect life, such as it is. Other themes are faith, hope, the belief that the actions that we take each day will add up to something more than just ourselves. And I love the line where someone says, the possibilities are infinite. So I really like that. So whenever I watch movies, I write the funny lines and the interesting lines down on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So you can read all of them there. I'll just share a couple of them here with you right now. So the first line that I just thought was funny and made me laugh was someone was talking to Mark Wahlberg's character and just said, wow, you're really special. He says, Well, I must have messed up in my past life. Have you seen where I live? I thought that was kind of funny. And he has all of the comic relief lines in the movie, but there is another character whose name is Artisan, played by Jason Mantzoukas, and they have this whole convoluted plot and plan to do something, and it's probably not going to work, and then it actually works, and he says, "Oh, I'm shocked that worked," even though the whole time he's like, "Yeah, it'll work, it'll work." Anyway, I thought that that was kind of funny. And then an interesting line is uh, Evan McCauley, played by Mark Wahlberg, says, "I'm not crazy, just misunderstood." And that kind of gets tossed back a few times in the movie as well. Okay, and I'll share one more with you because I think this one is really good. This one is spoken by Nora Brightman, who's played by Sophie Cookson, and she says, "Death isn't the end. It's like turning the page in a book." And whether you believe in reincarnation or resurrection or nothing, I do think that that's interesting because it is like turning the page in a book. It's another opportunity to start fresh and to create your life, not just react to it, but to actually design it and build it. All right, so you want to know the movie review mom grade I'm giving this? Again, I really liked where the movie was headed in the beginning, and then it just kind of got lost. So with its flaws and its strengths, the final grade that I'm going to give this is a C plus. So let me give you some recommendations for some other movies that I immediately thought of as I was watching this one. The first one is Tenet. I don't know if you ever saw it. It also had some incredible action sequences and some memorable scenes, but also acted like it was smarter and more clever than it was. And it was very clever, and maybe even too clever for the average viewer who just got lost and confused and sort of tossed it to the side as being bloated and kind of self-absorbed with how clever it was. But it is an interesting movie. And then another movie is Inception, which is also very clever and one that you have to watch a couple of times to really appreciate, but it is clever and good. And I think more people were able to appreciate that one than Tenet. All right, so that's it for my movie review. I hope that if you watch this movie that you do appreciate it and enjoy it. And if you don't, well, I gave you the heads up. So thank you so much for all of your support, for subscribing, for supporting me over at Patreon. And be sure and comment down below what you thought of this movie and what movie you would like me to review next time. Until then, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.